Anybody ever, especially older, come up, put their arm around your shoulder and say, hey, let me share some life advice, Nathan. There are no shortcuts in life. If someone said that to you, fling their arm off your shoulder and say, get away from me. Of course there's shortcuts. There's shortcuts everywhere. So at the end of the day, dude, there's opportunities everywhere right now. The question is are you able to convince people through social media and your post that there's possibility? And if you don't feel ethical saying, hey, you can get rich in 3 days, then don't say that, dude. But can you get passionate and say what you believe and get enthusiastic and start freaking having like certainty? Because it sounds like you can. And if you can, start doing it all day, every day. Chop it up, drop it on all those social media for a little bit, and I guarantee you, you'll look back and you'll go, it worked. Look, I can see every single one of you clearly. I'm looking right at you. I'm burning a hole in your soul. Can you feel it? No. Why? Because I'm not looking at the camera. So remember, when we're operating virtually in this digital age, we have to look at the camera as if that's their eyes. Because when you talk to somebody and they won't look at you in the eyes, how do you make them feel? How do you feel when someone's talking to you guys and they will not look you in the eye? So anyway, that's just a little tidbit. See, Brand, it's all about the money, isn't it, to you? Yeah, it is. No, it isn't. At the end of the day, this allows me to provide content as well, because I have all my cameras going all the time. I preach that if you want to build a personal brand, you got to post 3 to 4 pieces of social media on 6 different channels every single day. That's what I did, and it worked for me, and it more than likely will work for you. Will it work for everybody? I believe it'll work for almost everybody. There are some people that are just freaking boring and freaking dry and like freaking, dude, no matter what you do, just, man, hang it up. I've never met one personally, because even the ones that most people would question, they're just introverted and they don't say much. So you just assume that they can't do it, but they can do it. But all it is 3 to 4 videos per day per channel times 6. And so to do that, you have to have a lot of content. And most people try to create the content. They try to think up the content. They try to plan the content. And dude, that's a freaking full-time job. If we're running businesses and doing things, well, how are you supposed to go out and sell stuff and run businesses and be a real individual and make all that content? It's almost impossible. I tried it. And again, I've watched Grant Cardone do it. I've watched all these different people do it. And dude, it takes a lot of time, energy, and brain damage. Well, and quite frankly, I don't believe everyone can do that. I don't believe everyone can create 3 to 4 pieces of content times 6 channels. So 18 to 24 pieces of content per day. I don't think a lot of people can. But everyone can do what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is create 3 to 4 pieces of content. The question is what's the content? And the shortcut that I teach people is to be the content, right? I am the content. That's why I do these calls. Why? Well, because it's an opportunity to talk to people without creating content, without talking to the camera. I'm talking to actual people, and we're having real conversations about real things. And you'll never think up and be able to create that type of content on your own, like without this type of format. Why? Well, again, I mean, I don't want to say never, because I believe in the possibility of anything, but it's because it's not easy. I've tried it, and at some point in time, I was being a smartass to one of my guys that would kind of remind me when it was time to make content, and I kept being busy. I kept, because I run real companies, right? Like I have employees and like customers and heat and problems and plans and budgets, and well, I don't have budgets, but I was busy like a son of a bitch. So one day the guy walked in and he said, hey, it's time to make content for like the 9th time. And I've already pushed him off politely 15 times. I'm still busy. I still got more pressing shit than making content for social media. Okay? So I said, listen, just turn on the camera. I am the content. And I was being a smart ass. I didn't actually mean anything by it other than be a little bit of a snide smart ass. And so then I went back to doing what I'm doing, but he just did what I said, which was turned on the camera. And little did I know, the camera was filming me the whole time for the rest of the day. I was taking phone calls. I was doing sales calls. I was handling customer heat. I was talking to employees. I talked to my wife. I talked to my friends. I made a few jokes, and it was filming the whole time. Well, that footage went to the editing team. They chopped that up and started dropping it, and that's when all the fuss started. That's when everything started. That's when all the people started commenting, and people started hitting the follow button, and people started wanting more. Well, why did they want more? Well, because it was authentic. Because I wasn't sitting there trying to think up what I should say to look smart or sell something. I just freaking started being me. So the trick is to be the content. You are the content. You should have a camera on you 24/7 every single day. Some people say, hey, Brad, I can't afford a camera person. Listen, can you afford a camera wife? Can you afford a camera husband? Can you afford a camera kid or a camera son or daughter or a camera freaking stand? Okay? Can you afford a fucking tripod? They're 89 bucks, fool. Like, quit making excuses as to why you can't put your fucking iPhone and film your ass doing what you do all day. Unless, of course, you ain't doing shit all day. And therein lies the problem. You ain't doing anything. So start doing some shit. And then turn the damn camera on. And 99% of you will have enough content to put out 3 to 4 posts a day on social media. Because you're being you all day. How much time does that take you, Paul? Sean, how much time did it take you in a 24-hour period to be you? And do what you do? Huh?
24 hours.
Yeah, 24 hours. In 24 hours, dude. How much of that 24 hours do you need to be you doing what you do?
Well, no time, because you're just you all day.
Hey! It doesn't take any time, folks. So now you've got the advantage over everybody else trying to build a brand. Why? Because you ain't freaking spending any time. You're being you. And then you start to be aware and cognizant of the fact that you're not doing anything. There's nothing to film if I ain't doing anything, so I better do something. So now you start doing stuff. And guess what? Shit gets done. Like, come on, man. This stuff isn't rocket science, but people won't do it. Why? Because right now, half of you are probably second guessing even everything I'm saying. You know, with your 600 followers. So if I were you, I wouldn't even think like that. I'd be thinking, well, shit, dude, old BL, I'm following him. So let me try what he did. He just told me what he did. And I'm just going to rule it out. Oh, it won't work. Oh, it won't work for me. I'm not him. No, that's an excuse. That's the same excuse that you're telling yourself as to why you aren't doing the shit you already know how to do anyway. Like, there's people right now that know what to do to make more money in life. There's people that know what to do to get in better shape. You already know what to do. The problem is you don't want to do that, so you join calls like this to see if I know something else you can do. When in reality, it's only because you don't want to do the shit you already know to do. Shit. What the hell's wrong with us? We already know what to do. We just won't do it. So we go, hey, Brad, do you know what to do? And then when I tell you what to do and it sounds even fucking remotely close to the shit you were thinking, guess what you do? Damn, let me go join another group. He ain't got no answers. Well, dude, you had the answers. I confirmed the answers, and you still refuse to believe the shit. Why is that? Why do we do that to ourselves? That's my question. Well, it's because we don't want to be uncomfortable. Cut and dry. You don't want to be uncomfortable. Now, again, if I were Tate, I would say, what are you, a pussy? But seeing as how I'm not Tate, I would say, what are you, stupid? Because at the end of the day, it's the same thing. We already know what to do. We're just not doing it. So the question isn't what do we do? The question is why aren't we doing it? And if you can learn to ask the right questions, you'll get the right answers. Because if you get an answer to something that ain't the right question, guess what? It doesn't help anything. So you got to actually know what question to ask. Just like with AI nowadays. You know how we leverage AI? You know, you hear it everywhere now. Everybody's starting to talk about AI, AI this, AI that. you know, and you better figure out AI or it's going to take your job. First of all, listen, I bet you anything AI is not going to replace the guy that, you know, installs your toilet. Okay, let's see AI replace a roof. Okay, but what will AI do? It will replace the researchers, the people that took a lot of time to come up with the same damn answer, right? It's just a fast thinker, you know, and it's not all that it's cracked up to be. Like AI is artificial intelligence. In my opinion, there's one thing better than artificial intelligence: actual intelligence. Okay, that's what made AI in the first place, is actual intelligence. So AI is just a program that searches information quickly and compiles it back. So again, if you give it shit, it's going to spit out shit. You know how I know? Because listen, I'm like, oh, AI, this is awesome. Okay, write me some sales copy for Lightspeed VT, which is an interactive virtual training system that allows you to build interactive content and sell courses online and or train your people. Enter. Nothing even close. Has no idea why Lightspeed's better than any other training platform out there. They don't even know the difference. It didn't say anything that was actually relevant. Why? Because it doesn't know that. Well, I thought it was this new thing that's going to take away our reasoning and our brains and not, you know, eliminate our position to live. Like, come on, it ain't going to do that shit, especially when it comes to manual labor. Like, it ain't going to replace a roof. It ain't going to chop down a tree. You know, it might run a machine that does it. So watch out. I'm not saying blanket. You know, they're going to automate some shit. But instead, what should we do? Well, we should not worry about artificial intelligence. We should figure out how to apply our actual intelligence, which in our case would be, how do we leverage AI to be faster, stronger in the services that we provide? Or if they really can replace the services we provide, be the first one to tell the customer how to replace one of the services and save them money using our product or service. That right there is called using actual intelligence. Creating a more deep connection with our customers by showing them how to leverage AI to better use your product or service. Lovely, ethical. In my book, expected, but companies aren't doing that. You know, they're coming out with new things that ultimately, you know, they use AI as a buzzword for marketing because it's a marketable word. You know, we do the same thing, and so should you guys, by the way. But I digress. At the end of the day, you want to build a social media brand. You have to be the content. You have to put out 3 to 4 pieces of social media per day, per channel. You need to freaking figure out like a hook, a solution, or a problem and a solution, so you can embed the hook, problem, solution into the format of the content. And now that you're producing this content on a regular basis, you're putting it out, 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 you're putting it out. About 3 months will go by and you'll be like, damn, I only have 900 followers. This ain't working. Yes, it is working, and you just have to keep doing it. And some of you, after a year, you'll be like, holy shit. And some of you, after 2 years, you'll say, holy shit. But guess what? At some point in time, every single one of you, if you do what I just said, would turn around, look back, and be like, he was correct. It took me 4 years. It took Grant Cardone 4.5 years. I was there the whole time. I was the one holding the camera half the time. At the end of the day, it takes a long time to build a personal brand for real. I ain't talking about buying 1 million followers so you look like you got a following, you look like you got some influence. I'm talking about actual following, actual influence. Because without influence, what do you really got? And I was speaking at Traffic and Conversion yesterday, and I told those guys, they're all marketing agencies and marketing experts in the room. I said, listen, honestly, dude, what I would do is I would quit worrying about, you know, trying to get better for your company or for your customers. I would honestly start using whatever it is you claim you know right now and that you're selling to customers for yourself. Because marketing is all it is. If you want to get famous, just market yourself correctly and frequently. But anyway, so last week, folks, I dumped you into the revolution because my plan was, hey, why don't we shut this down and go over there? And I wanted you to get a taste of it. You guys remember? You guys were in the call, yes or no? So again, if you're in the call and you're like, yeah, dude, I'll just do 2 calls a week with you and Andy, I'm good. Then send me a message or a DM, and I'll transfer you to the revolution, and we'll send you that link instead of this link. Which, by the way, yesterday the Revolution wanted everybody to hear Aaron Williamson. Who got a chance to hear him? Like, dude, does that guy know his shit or what? Dude, he's going to get everybody as shredded as they want to be. We're going to show people how to make as much money as they want to make, grow and scale their company, do whatever, every other Friday. But that's also what we do here. So, or what I'm going to attempt to do. So if you want, don't be confused. You won't be getting any more Revolution calls if you just stay here. If you don't want to stay here and you want to transfer this to that, then DM me so I can get you transferred over there officially, because me and Andy on that one, and this one's all me. I need to arrange it so we know who gets what link, so we don't have confusion like we did yesterday or Wednesday. Wednesday, I was tied up, number one. Number two, my thought was, oh yeah, they're joining the Aaron thing because that's what the Revolution was doing. And I thought, oh yeah, I didn't actually merge them yet. So anyway, I apologize for Wednesday, but now you guys are all caught up, and anybody watching the replay now is all caught up. So this is the answer. The answer is I'm going to continue to do these every Wednesday. If you're already in here and you're in here, you won't be at the Revolution unless you sign up for that too. If you want to go to the Revolution in lieu of this, just tell me. I'll pop you over there. Fair enough? Everybody go like that. Sweet. I want to make sure I'm coming across clear. All right, so, and again, these, like Jim, you're brand new. These are, usually are an hour. Sometimes we go a little bit more, but generally an hour. And I'll bring on occasion guest speakers, people that I know that have value in some capacity, and then they share that value with you guys. You guys can Q&A and pick their brains and stuff like that. Like I've had Andy in here before. I've had Wes Watson in here before, and I've had all kinds of people. And I'll continue to bring people. But you get a chance to give them Q&A and whatnot. So that's about it. I mean, the real coaching call is pretty simple. Every Wednesday, 4 p.m., we're going to talk about something more than likely that touches on mindset, skill set, and habits. Because whatever you guys want to do, it's going to be based on mindset, skill set, and habits. You want a better relationship with your wife? Dude, that's mindset, that's skill set, and that's habits. And it is skill set. Some of you guys are like, got your mind in the gutter. I ain't talking about just those skills. I'm talking about like, listening skills and freaking, inclusion skills and freaking little hacks. Like, for example, texting while you're at work back and forth. Well, Brad, I didn't know you were a relationship expert. Well, I'm not. I just know what works for me. Anyway. It's all going to boil around mindset, skill set, and habits. So today, when I went over hey, here's how you build a brand, or hey, here's a few hacks if you're going to deal with being virtual, sometimes it applies, sometimes it doesn't. In those two cases, I believe it applies to everybody. Why? Well, because you're on a Zoom call right now. Dude, this is the digital age. It's not changing. It's going to get more digital. And you guys better, be aware of the, top trends and the freaking, the latest gear and technology. Like if you guys don't know how to operate a Zoom, if you fumble with technology, and I'm looking around trying to figure out like who on this call would fumble technology. I don't think I could see anybody and be like, yeah, they'd probably screw up technology. Everybody looks like they're young enough to be able to embrace technology. I was going to look for some really old people, but nobody's really old. I think I'm the oldest person on this call, ain't I? Bruce, how old are you?
60.
Okay, well, I still think
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. You're 60. Before I would have said,
I'm probably pretty close.
Before I would have said that's ancient, but I'm damn near 60. I still feel like I did when I was 25. Isn't that crazy? I don't know if that's the same for anybody on this call that's a little bit older. But dude, it's the weirdest thing. I don't have any aches. I don't have any pains. I don't take any medications. It's just freaking, I'm a lucky devil. But my point is I know technology though. I know how to do this Zoom call. I can change my background. I can mute you guys. I can kick you out. I can put you in another room. I can put you in another room and bounce from room to room to room and talk to you all individually. I could survey you right now. I could open up a chat with my AI companion and ask it a question that will go back into the whole entire session and conversation and break down exactly where I said what about what, which by the way is a tool to now create curriculum based on these calls, which then it's structured and more digestible, which we'll be doing. But my point is, I know how to use it. So you got to know how to use your technology. You got it. So that's a skill set, right? So again, you got to be like, well, he just showed us how to build a personal brand and preached on that for a second. What is that? Is that a mindset thing? No. But you better have a mindset figured out before you do that shit, because otherwise you won't post anything. Why? Well, because dude, you got a poor mindset. You procrastinate. You make excuses. You're weak-minded. You have no discipline. You have no consistency. You have no self-esteem. You have no self-worth. You're worried about what everybody else thinks because you don't value what you think. So again, see that? That's mindset, man. That's all that is. So even though I talked about building a personal brand, that is a freaking habit. That is mindset. That is a skill set. Knowing, you know, the little things like, for example, the source. You might not have realized, oh man, it's easier to be the content than think it up. Let me just turn on a camera and be me, doing what I do, talking to whom I talk to, working, being the expert that I supposedly am claiming that I am, or doing the things that I do, even if they're screwing up. Why? Well, at least you now can document what you said and what you did. So now if you went and hired a coach and said, hey man, where am I going wrong? And they go, well, what are you doing? What are you saying? Say, man, I don't need to freaking explain it. Just watch this. That's me doing me, dog, all day long. And they're going to be like, well, I watched the video and I took notes. And Jim, you didn't do anything for the first 3 hours of the day except freaking twiddle around and check emails here and again. So what did you do? Well, I took notes, and it turns out you worked about 2.5 hours a day for 6 months and then wondered why you didn't get very far. Well, imagine if you'd have worked 8 hours a day for 6 months. How much farther ahead you'd be. But most people don't even realize. They think they work a bunch. But they don't work a bunch. One time I had a group of people here on my staff. I hired them. I gave them projects. As we sold projects, I assigned projects. They're called project managers. And they got to a point where they were just always stressed and always overwhelmed, and they had so many clients. In fact, they had so many clients, they would tell our clients how many clients we actually had, which would hopefully justify, you know, why we're dropping balls left and right. They're just overwhelmed. They can't handle everything. And I'm like, hold on a minute. You guys are overwhelmed because we're barely doing any business, and you're overwhelmed because in my mind, thinking the way I would do your job, I don't think I would be overwhelmed with the amount of deals that you have. And so they said, no, Brad, you don't understand because you don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Let's educate me. I said, get all your deals, come into the conference room. They got all their deals together and all their data together, and they came into the conference room, and I said, okay, who wants to start? Boom, I'll start. Okay, what are you doing right now? Okay, well, I got this to do, and 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 this to do. 20 minutes worth of the shit they got to do, all laid out perfectly. And I said, okay, well, let's start going through these. Like right there, what is it you actually have to do here? Well, I'm waiting for the customer to get back to me. Okay, on this one. And by the way, well, then there's nothing to do, right? They're like, well, I gotta wait for the answer. Okay, you're waiting for an answer. I think you can figure out something else to do while the answer comes. So you have nothing to do, right? And they're like, well, yeah. Okay, so what about this one? What do you have to do? Well, there I'm waiting on, exactly. So we got through all their stuff. We executed the things that I found out were actually executable in the meeting, in the like 10 frickin' minute exercise. And we knocked out everything that they had to do that was legitimate. And ultimately they had nothing to do but worry about all the shit that they need to do at some point when someone else did something else. Like, come on. They weren't doing anything. They were overwhelmed doing nothing. And dude, we get like that sometimes. So do our employees. So you got to be careful because you might be overwhelmed and busy doing nothing. What are you doing every day? Right? What are your habits? And by the way, that breaks down additional conversation. processes, systems. Where are your systems and processes? Do you have any? Because if you don't have any, you should. You should document those processes and systems and memorialize them in a training system, especially if you plan on growing and scaling an organization. But you need to document those processes so everyone can understand those processes. And if you don't successfully deliver the exact how-tos, how can you be mad at your team? You should start by being mad at yourself, because you haven't been able to even document what you expect. What kind of a dick are you? See what I'm saying? You start to go, wait a minute, yeah, he's right. I haven't documented every last thing. I just expect them to frickin' get it. Well, again, that's like a wife expecting you to read their mind. Have you ever had some girlfriend or wife tell you, you don't need to get me nothing for my birthday? Guys, get them something for their birthday, okay? I don't care that they're saying you don't need to. Yes, you do, dick. The fact that you even entertained the thought that you don't means you're a dumbass or you're a guy. Why? Because guys, we just go, she said I didn't need to. And now we go back to, okay, I'm going to go play some Call of Duty, or okay, I'm going to go kill something or hunt something. When in reality, you know, you should have known. Well, that's called communication, right? And a little bit is called intuition, and a little bit is called common sense. We don't use enough of those things. We all know we have intuition, don't we? You ever feel like, hey, it don't seem right, and then turns out it wasn't right, and you knew it, but you did it anyway because you're a dumbass. No, it's because you don't listen to your intuition. Why? Well, because we've been taught not to listen to our intuition. And not only that, we don't want to be wrong. We don't want to be wrong. That's embarrassing. Why do we feel like it's embarrassing to be wrong? Well, remember back in school when you raised your hand and you had the wrong answer? And they clowned you? Maybe even punished you. Made you come back after school because you're such a dumbass and your answer was so stupid. Made you just not want to answer any more questions, okay? You don't want to be ridiculed. You don't want to be made fun of. Why? Well, because it's wrong to be wrong. It's embarrassing to be wrong. It's catastrophic to be wrong. We don't want to be wrong. And guess what, folks? We're wrong anyway. We're wrong every single day. We're all wrong, and we're going to continue to be wrong. And if we focus on the wrong, that's all we're going to live in is the wrong. So what do? I don't care what's wrong. I'm not afraid to be wrong. I want to know what's right. Well, how do you know what's right? Well, dude, you're going to have to be wrong. That's why I got no problem being wrong. Okay, if I'm wrong, I'm going to come back to you guys tomorrow and say, dude, I'm wrong. Just like when I talk, if you guys follow me on social media, and again, this ain't a political thing. I mean, not political. If this ain't a religious thing, because number one, I don't really believe in organized religion. But you guys, if you follow me, you've heard me say Jesus ain't his name. It's Yahshua, and it's actually Yahushua, but that's irrelevant. It's Yahshua. Now, if I were a pastor of a church saying Jesus the whole time, and I found out that his name was actually something else, I would go to that church and say, hey, I've learned something new. His name is actually Yahushua. It's not Jesus. Never was, in fact, actually. And so let's get that straight moving forward. I wouldn't just keep the lie up or keep the facade up because it's too hard to explain and now everybody's going to question me and now everybody might think I'm stupid and I made a mistake or I'm wrong. Oh, God, I don't want to be wrong. Same reason I don't put my hands up at church and sing. How dumb would you feel doing that if there ain't no God? What a dumbass. Look at him praising. Fool, you know. But guess what? Everybody in church, they don't question it or they wouldn't be there either. And if they do, they're in the back hoping no one will notice them. You can raise your hands and do all that shit that I always look at and go, ooh, you do that? Well, why do you do that? Someone said to me on my post the other day, well, you'll raise your hands for a hockey team, but you won't for God. And I said, I can see the hockey team. Okay? I see them. I see the puck go in the net. Okay? I don't see God. Like, I just have to believe he's there. And if I'm wrong, oh shit, I'm going to look stupid. So let me just not worship. Let me not raise my hands so I don't look stupid. Because if I look stupid, especially to all the other stupid people, well, now I'm really stupid. So I'm just going to be safe. Safe. That's what everybody wants. They want safe. When in reality, you win when you risk. In fact, risk is opportunity, and everybody avoids it. That's what you got to think about. How much opportunity are you avoiding? Okay, now go identify all the risky shit that you say, oh, that's risky. Hey, let me get away from this. And now go reevaluate that with a different perspective. Like maybe that risk was what you were looking for. Maybe that risk, that problem, that challenge, that obstacle is exactly what you need to grow your business or grow yourself or grow your relationship or whatever. Maybe those challenges that you just avoided or quickly buried were the answer, but you just passed them over. Why? Could have been wrong, you know, very uncomfortable. We don't want to be uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? We want to be nice and comfortable. We seek comfort. Look at Tom in his comfortable ass chair. Okay? Look at him. Look at Sean in his comfortable ass shirt. Okay? Look at that comfortable ass recliner from 1991 that Paul's sitting in. Dude, what the hell? Were you sitting in a mitt? What is that? Is that a couch? You sitting on a turd? I hope that ain't an office chair, bro.
No, it's just a recliner.
All right, good. I thought you were sitting in an office chair. I was about to say, dude, come on, get that shit out of your office. That's too much.
I'm always in my office, but today I have the day off.
All right. But anyway, so listen, at the end of the day, I say all that to say, think about what you think about. You know what I mean? Take some time to think, actually think, you know. And when you think and set aside time to think, like my man Keith Cunningham says, has anyone ever read the book, The Road Less Stupid? Anybody? Everybody can afford a couple bucks, right? Go to Amazon and get the audiobook or the actual book, The Road Less Stupid. The Road Less Stupid. And Keith Cunningham, you'll get to know who he is. He wrote a book, and that book will tell you that he sets aside time to think, just time to think. Like, who does that anymore? Does anybody here, and don't bullshit me because you're just bullshitting yourself. Does anybody here set aside consistent time out of their schedule every day to think? Okay, again, 2 people, good. Well, hey, I got to start doing that. Now, I think all day, every day, but I don't set aside time to think. But I'm going to start setting aside time to think. And then before that time comes, I'm going to figure out what to think about, right? And that's the key. That's like ChatGPT. It depends on what you feed it will determine the value of it. Like you have to command it or prompt ChatGPT to get good results. So if you're having it do an exercise, the quality of your prompt will determine the quality of the answer. So you have to actually get very, very good at asking ChatGPT, or prompting as they call it, to get the quality of AI. Because if you ask it a stupid question, it could spit out a stupid answer, and you'll swear to God that's the truth because it's AI. And AI doesn't mean smart. In fact, it's almost the antithesis of smart. It's artificial intelligence. Actual intelligence is better. Try to develop your actual intelligence. Don't think you're just going to rely on artificial intelligence, but you definitely want to leverage it. Now, it sounds like I've brought up and talked about a million things. Is there anything before we jump off this call that you want to drill in on this sesh? And by the way, this was a random sesh because I screwed up yesterday or the day before. So next Wednesday, it's just Wednesday, 4 p.m. Like, don't get anybody screwed up. And Jay, make sure everybody gets an email after this. Hey, these are still going to continue. I'm just not going to advertise them. And then, you know, we might lose a few people to the revolution. But at the end of the day, 4 p.m., same bat channel, same bat time, same format. Some of you guys, you know, you'll join both. Well, guess what? You get to see me 2 times. No, you get to see me 6 times a month. Which if you divide the cost into it, shit. Dude, if you can't afford that, you need it. A lot of people don't understand, guys. If you guys think this is a bunch of money, shit, you better freaking wake up and you better get prepared because it's about to get real rough. Right now, the rich and the poor are dividing more rapidly than ever. And the gap in the middle is not going to exist. You're not going to have no middle class. You're going to have rich and you're going to have poor. And you better not be on the poor side. People say, well, Brad, what do I do if I'm on the poor side? Fucking jump. Okay, jump and start swimming this way, okay? Because that gap's going to get bigger and there's no better time to jump than right now. Now, if you don't know how to jump or where to jump or what to do, well, then you freaking join these calls and I'll tell you. And when I say jump, you say how high. Now, you start doing the jumping and guess what? You're going to turn around one day and you're going to go, that son of a bitch. He made it sound like it was easy. No, I didn't, and I hope I don't. Because I've never found easy yet. If somebody says here, Brad, look, I got $10 million. Let's skip the time that it takes. Let me break down the you know, length of this, and let's just cut to the chase and give me the essence of the bottom line, and let me just get the answer. You know, the answer would be work. Because that is what it is. And it's not comfortable. And it's not easy. It is simple. So if you ever hear me go, it's easy, I don't mean easy. I mean simple if you think about it. If you think about it. But a lot of people don't think. Because again, like I said, everybody here knows how to get a 6-pack. I do. Y'all do. Why ain't y'all got one? Have you decided not to have one? Have you made the conscious decision? I don't want one. I don't want one and I ain't going to get one. So I'm not going to listen to the peer pressure either. Okay? Screw Andy Elliott and his 6-pack bullshit. Okay? I've chosen to be average in that department. Thank you. Okay? Don't shame me. Okay? No, you haven't actually made that decision. You just don't want to make the decision to be uncomfortable. So you don't. And it's real easy not to, isn't it? It's real easy not to do shit. That's why we don't do shit, by the way. Because it's easy. It's easier not to do shit than to do shit. This morning, I was supposed to wake up and have a black cup of coffee. Why? Because I'm intermittent fasting every single day. It works like a champ, by the way. And I believe it's healthy and beneficial like a son of a bitch. And the Bible says so. So if you're into any kind of freaking belief in the Bible tells you to fast too. So guess what? I'm fasting, working like a charm. This morning I get up. My wife decided to get a box of frosted shredded wheat and some ice cold whole milk and leave it sitting there. So I'm looking at the black coffee and I'm looking at the frosted shredded wheat or mini shredded wheat or whatever those are called with the ice cold milk. And to see if this hits social media, I'm going to get a bunch of comments talking about how it's poison and they're looking to give cancer. I understand all that. But it's frosted mini wheats. So I'm like, okay, what do I want? You know, well, I want those frosted mini wheats. But what should I do? Well, I should drink that black fucking cup of coffee and go about my day like a fucking stud. Which do you think I did? Most mornings, I have the black cup of coffee. This morning, I ate the fucking shredded wheat. Why? Because I wanted the fucking shredded wheat. And I don't give a fuck what you guys think. Okay? And it is possible to eat the goddamn shredded wheat and still fucking succeed. But guess what? It's because most of the time I'm choosing the fucking right things to do consistently. Right? You can see a man's or a woman's life ahead of them by just inspecting the choices that they're making on a daily basis. Not the big dramatic choices, the little baby choices that happen every single day, like when the alarm goes off, or if you even set an alarm, or what you eat or don't eat, or what you do or don't do. Boom, 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 all day long. And then people are baffled why they can't get anywhere. They're baffled why they're still chubby. They're baffled why they're still broke. It was funny, I was doing a podcast earlier today before this call, and there was a bunch of brokers. They're brokers, and I'm like, why would you call yourself brokers? Like that is like, I don't want to be broker. Why don't you guys start calling yourselves richers? Like, dude, more people would do better for you if you guys were richers than brokers. Like why would you call yourself that? And then one of them had a soap and lotion company called Naked Bar Minerals. What is it? Essentials. Oh yeah, Essentials. Naked Bar Essentials, and one of which was this cream, this hand cream, and they're advertising it and marketing it as if you have really dry hands, this will fix it. And so we're talking about marketing, and I said, look, you could also say that it cures ED. She said, what do you mean? How does it cure ED? I said, you apply liberally, and if it doesn't cure it, take a picture of the result and send it in and authorize us to use it publicly, and we will refund your money, because you have to prove it didn't work. But it should work. If you just apply it, it should solve the problem. Now, if it doesn't solve the problem, take a picture of it and we'll give you a full refund. Is that an ethical marketing campaign? No. Okay. Do you think that business would be in business for very long? No. But in reality, I could argue, if I was the lawyer defending them in court, how that's quite possible. I'll bet you there is some people that took that product, applied it liberally, and kept applying it, and it did something. So therefore, theoretically, in some cases, it did cure it. So how can you say it doesn't if it did at some point in time? Now see, again, anybody listening to this, if I ask you, is that ethical? I mean, even though they got away with it, like, is that an ethical thing to do? No, we all know, because we all have intuition. We all have intuition. Listen to your intuition. Okay? A lot of people say, oh, you know, I had a feeling he was a freaking dick. You know, and then it turns out, yep, he was a dick. Oh, I had a feeling this was going on. You know, I had a feeling that was the case. Think back when you've ever been wrong. I try to think back on all the times my intuition steered me wrong, and it never has steered me wrong. I've only not listened to it. It's never been wrong. I've always known. I always feel it. I always know. Now, sometimes I had no idea, which means my intuition didn't even help me. Well, those things happen. But there's been a bunch of times where I had a feeling, you dirty son of a bitch, and guess what? Oh, yeah, I was right. How many times? Who's done that here? Tell the truth. See, we've all done that because we all have intuition. Question is why aren't we using it? Why aren't we trusting it? Why aren't we believing it? Why do we not tap into that strength, that power, actually? Why don't we use it? That's the question. Because we don't want to be wrong. That's the answer. We don't want to look stupid. That's the answer. We want to be safe. That's the answer. We don't want to risk. That's the answer. When in reality, guys, that is exactly what gets you everything that you're supposedly searching for. What you claim you want. Now, I ask you, is that fucking very smart? No. Like, what the hell? Gosh darn it. If that's true, man, I'm a dumbass. Right, that's what I say about myself all the time. Why? Because, dude, I ate the shredded wheat. I shouldn't have ate the shredded wheat, damn it. I claim I want to be in shape. I claim I want a six-pack, but yet I ate the damn shredded wheat. Son of a bitch, why do I do that? See, now we're getting to the right question. We're asking the right question now so I can get the right answer. Why do I do it? Because I fucking feel like it. That's why. And guess what? Who gets to decide if that's a good enough reason? I do. And guess what I've decided? No problem, BL. You kick ass so often, other times you're okay with a little shredded wheat, especially frosted shredded wheat. We're not talking about maple bars. Damn, dog. Shit. Go easy on yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back, dude. You're a good dude. You're helping people. You look fucking great, dude. Especially for your age. Not for your age, especially for my age. Don't even look my age. Okay, good. Okay, eat shredded wheat. Let it go. Leave it in the past. And move on. Okay? I stopped the nonsense from running around my head giving me all this bullshit stories throughout the day that now I'm a loser and I can't win. That's what everybody else said. Dude, yes you can. You ever heard Eminem? You only get one shot. Yeah, bullshit, dude. I've had 1,000,000 shots, and you're going to have 1,000,000 shots. Who cares if you lose? Who cares if you screw up? It's part of learning. It's part of life. It's a pleasure. It's an actual privilege. It means you're getting... Hey, it means you're getting stronger. It means you're getting smarter. It means you're getting experience. Unless you're not, because it is possible to not learn the lesson. And if you don't learn the lesson, you're going to have something else happen, because it's going to keep happening over and over until you learn what it is you need to learn. See what I'm saying? Like when we were young, how many ladies on the call, even though I only see 3, but hey, even in the recordings in the future, the ladies that are listening, how many times did you have to go out with a dick to realize, you know, to avoid the dickheads, okay? And some of you might be thinking, you look like the dickheads I used to. Hey, listen, I might look like one of the dickheads, and I might have been one of the dickheads, but at the end of the day, I'm telling you, we had to go through the dickheads to say, hey, you look like a dickhead. Now, guess what? You've got the ability to avoid dickheads. You don't value that? Well, then you have to be thankful that you went out with some dickheads. You know? And guys, some of you, you know, we've got our own versions of that too. So, I mean, at the end of the day, what am I trying to say? Why am I saying all this? So you guys get off the call and do a little self-assessment and think, am I avoiding opportunities? Because I bet you are. Am I avoiding doing the things I already know to do? Yeah, I am. Okay, so if you don't know everything I just said, go back, listen to the call again, download it, listen to the audio, driving to work tomorrow, start taking notes, think about everything I'm talking about, and then use it to assess your personal situation. And I'll bet you if you made a column, you'd end up going, damn, dude, I'm a guilty son of a bitch. And what I say is forgive yourself and then move on. Stop being a guilty son of a bitch. Stop ignoring your intuition. Stop doing the things you already know are not serving you. Hanging out with individuals that basically discourage you and distract you and frickin' blah, blah. You already know that. You need me to tell you that? You need me to tell you, hey, don't let people discourage you and plant negativity into your head, because that'll grow into a problem. You need me to tell you that? No, you already know that. We've already told you that. Everyone's told you that. I'm sure you've read books before. How many books have you read? And if the answer is none, well then, dude, read some books. Again, read every single day. Why would we read every single day? We would read every single day to change our beliefs. Why? We must change our beliefs to change our behavior. We must change our behavior to change our results. Old Bradley's a genius. I want to change what I'm getting. Well, then I better change what I'm doing. If I want to change what I'm doing, well, then I got to change what I believe. Because the reason I do what I do is because I believe what I believe. So how do I change my beliefs? That's the right question. Well, you change your beliefs by getting new information. Just like, for example, if I sold you that a shit sandwich tasted delicious and good, I'm that good of a salesman where I'll get you to believe that a shit sandwich tastes good. And as soon as you take a bite, you'll get new information. And no matter what I do, I'll never be able to sell you another shit sandwich again, because your belief system won't allow it. You believe that it tastes like shit and it has no value. Therefore, no one on earth will ever again get you to buy one or eat one unless they give you new information. And you buy that information. So you have to get the new information to change the belief. The belief changes the freaking actions, and the actions change the result. So how do we change our results? How do we change what we're getting? How do we change it? Simple. We get new information. And guess what? New information is all around us. Where do you think information resides? If you had to get some, like, you know, where do tomatoes grow? Like, how do we get more apples? Okay, we go to the store, get some apples. Where do we get information? Books. Okay, start with books. Start with freaking books. Remember those? So audio or a book, read every single day. Why? Get new information. You don't have to believe it just because you get it, but get it every day. You already know to work out. Okay, work out, eat right every day. Now guess what? You already know that. Do it. That's why you're not freaking doing it. That's the question. You already know to do it. You don't need Bradley to tell you. You don't need Andy Elliott to tell you. You don't need Aaron Williamson to tell you. You already know to do it. That's your intuition. The question is why aren't you doing it? That's what we have to figure out if you're not doing it. It's not that doing it works. Okay, you already know it does. Question is why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you improving yourself? Why aren't you feeling as if you're worth the investment? Because you don't see it as an investment. You see it as something uncomfortable and painful. That is the investment. That's the risk. That's the pain that everybody avoids. That's the frickin' path. That's what you need. Okay? And what you want requires that you have to do you have to do what you need to do, not what you want to do. See how freaking twisted it is? I want to get what I want. Well, then you need to do this shit. I don't want to do that shit. Well, then you need to change what the fuck you want. Because in order to get that, you need to do that. Well, I don't want to do that. Well, let me get to a conference or figure out some other way of doing it because, man, that shit's uncomfortable. I don't want to do that. And by the way, if that is what you decided, at least own your decision. That's why when you go to the beach or you go to a pool and you see some dude with a big-ass beer belly and a beard and he's drinking beer and he's happy as shit, and you're thinking, look, there's a fat dude that's happy. You can be fat and happy. Of course you can be fat and happy. Matter of fact, I think I'd be happier fat. Personally, if there was nobody on earth, I wouldn't work out. If no one would ever see me again, I'd eat whatever the hell I want, as often as I want. I'd never lift a weight. I'd never work out. People say, oh, well, then you're dumb because what if a saber-toothed tiger was chasing you? Dude, we're in my fantasy, not yours, okay? And I'm saying no one's on earth. There's no purpose to work out. There's no danger. I won't need to climb upstairs. I just lay there and eat and exist in heaven. Now, again, is that really heaven? No. If you literally got everything you thought you wanted, I guarantee you're going to realize that doesn't freaking fulfill you anymore. Why? Because you're placing it on, once I get this, then I'll be this, which is wrong. You have to think, in order to get that, you have to think, who do I need to be to get that? Like, for example, if you guys pictured a guy right now, six-pack, killer chest, fucking 32-inch waist, 6'2", okay, 205 pounds, 8% body fat, swole, flexible, capable, not unhealthy. Because again, I've seen ripped bodybuilders. They're unhealthy, dude. I don't want to be unhealthy. I don't care. I'd rather be fat and healthy than freaking ripped and unhealthy. So health is my goal. It's not shredded. It's healthy. So to me, if you see that six-pack son of a bitch that we're talking about, and in your mind you're like, yeah, I'd like to look like that. I'd like to look like that. Okay. Take that guy. What do you think he's like? What do you think he's like? Just use your intuition. Use your brain. What do you think that guy's like? Throw out some words, folks. Unmute and just throw out a word and then mute again.
Consistent.
He's consistent. I bet you're right. That dude would be consistent. What else?
Intense.
Working out.
Intense. Okay. Consistent.
Discipline.
Educated.
Discipline. Say again.
Unprogrammed or educated?
Okay, educated. Okay, unprogrammed. Okay, keep going.
Tenacious.
Tenacious. Okay, and again, pretty soon we're going to get into where they're just same word, different, or different words, same meaning. So let's stop there. Disciplined. Okay, intense, consistent, educated, tenacious. Okay, if the guy you envision would be like this, well, then you have to be before you become. So now you know how to be. Okay, now be disciplined, be intense, be consistent. And pretty soon you will be the way he is. Rich, buff, happy, sad, depressed, hungover, alcoholic, drug eating, whatever. It works the same. It's just a process. It's just a system. It's a method. And the method is be. You have to be before you become. The shit you want to do is you're not gonna get it using the same thoughts and the same information you currently have. You're going to need to think different. You're going to need to be different. You're going to need to act different. You're going to need to change. Okay? You're never going to get a $100 million a year company based on where you are unless you change some shit. Would you all agree? Yes or no? That's just the truth, man. You don't like it? Fuck. Add it to the list. Okay? You don't like poetry either. So now you don't like truth. Okay? You don't like broccoli, you don't like truth, you don't like cauliflower, you don't like working out, you don't like freaking healthy shit, you don't like being nice, you don't like being kind, you don't like being generous. Keep adding them up, brother, and then wonder why you ain't winning. But at the end of the day, am I right? Can anybody argue? I'd love to argue about it. I'd love to debate, have someone try and convince me otherwise. Because this is what I believe. So it's my beliefs. And so again, all you have to do to change your action, change your beliefs. I believe if I'm not disciplined most of the time, I'm going to be in trouble. And that's why I'm disciplined most of the time. Why ain't I disciplined every time like maybe Andy Elliott is? And by the way, I've caught his ass sleeping in the morning. He told me one time, I called him, he freaking woke up. I'm like, Andy, da-da-da-da-da. And he goes, oh my God, dude, don't tell anybody. I had a late night. Da-da-da. And I said, don't tell anybody. I started laughing my ass off like anyone gives a shit. But at the end of the day, he's like, don't tell anybody. And I said, Andy, it's 6 a.m., bro. It's okay. It was hilarious. But he may never choose the wrong thing like I will. Does that make me wrong? Does that make him right? I don't know. It depends on what you're trying to get. All I know is I've decided it's okay as long as you're disciplined most of the time. I don't believe you have to be disciplined every time. It's okay if you make a mistake. I don't believe you only get one chance. Okay? We go through life. We already know the answers. We don't want to follow them. We already know. We say, hey, man, you know what we're going to do? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start working out every week. I already know that's the right thing to do. I'm going to start eating right. I know that's the right thing. I'm going to start working smarter. I'm going to start putting more time in with my kids. I'm going to start focusing on making my wife feel like she did when we first started dating. I'm going to start freaking surprising her, and I'm going to start doing this shit. Or your husband. I'm going to start doing these things. And then 2-3 weeks go by, and you stop. And you're like, well, I didn't really feel like going to the gym, My wife was being a bitch this morning, so I didn't feel like, giving her some flowers, and I didn't feel like this. That's because you're doing everything on feelings and emotions, Don't do them on emotions. Do them on convictions. Do them on beliefs. See what I'm saying? Because if you are convicted and you've decided and there's no other choice, well, then you might work out even though you don't fucking feel like it. Okay? Nobody gives a shit if you feel like it. That wasn't the question. It wasn't even part of the freaking, challenge. Did you feel like it? Who cares whether you feel like it? Like, how does that factor in? I didn't feel like it. Oh, okay. I guess everything I said's out the window then. Jay didn't feel like it. God darn it, I had it all figured out. Nope, I failed to anticipate. What if Jay doesn't feel like it? You know what the answer is? Who gives a shit how you feel? Okay? Who gives a shit? Nobody. Nobody gives a shit how you feel. You should give the shit how you feel, which is why only you can determine whether or not do you have to be strict. Because maybe if you do one little cheat, you're going to do a lot of cheats. Well, then I guess you can't do any cheats. But that's you, man. That ain't me. Don't paint me on that bullshit limitation. I can have frosted fucking mini wheats if I want to. And still go 6 days with freaking black coffee. You see what I'm saying? I can skip a damn workout once in a while. I can. Why? Because I've done it. And look, I'm still succeeding. Woo! I'm the proof. So again, that's why it's easy to argue with Andy and not feel like I might be wrong and look stupid. Because if he says I'm wrong, I'll say, well, then how do you explain me? How do you explain me if you have to be shredded to win? How do you explain all the fat people that I know that are not just like pudgy, they're downright fat, they're freaking round, and they're still rich? Well, guess what? Is rich successful? Because again, I can't tell you the answer to that. Why? You got to decide the answer to that. I don't know. You got to figure out what success looks like for you. Otherwise, you're chasing what everybody else thinks. And again, you don't want to do that. You want to think for yourself. In fact, you want to carve out some thinking time. So on a daily basis, and then you need to ask yourself what to think about. See, like, instead of saying, why is my business failing? Why am I not making the money I need to make? A better question to think about would be, what do I need to do to make twice the money? That's a better question to think about, So whether you think positively or negatively. But that book I told you about, Keith Cunningham's book, that's where I'm learning it. Get it, The Road Less Stupid. He'll show you some processes and some good guiding questions to where you start thinking, and you start thinking on a regular basis. It's a good exercise, and it helps you greatly. So I'd tell everybody, go get the book. Now, again, I'm not going to follow up and see if you got the book, but I would tell you, go get the book. So if in 6 months you quit, say it didn't work, first thing I'm going to say to you is, hey, dude, how long you been in real coaching? You're going to say 6 months. I'm going to go, remember back when I told you to get Road Less Stupid? You're going to say, no, but you'll say, yeah. Did you do it? No. Did you read it? No. And now you want to blame what? So again, at the end of the day, guys, we already have answers that we have ourselves. Let's go do them. Let's go do the shit, okay? Let's go do what you already know, okay? You don't need me to confirm it. You already know. Okay, you know what's right, you know what's wrong, you know what's smart, you know what's stupid. Okay, do the things you know already yourself. We'll start trying to bring new ways of thinking, new belief systems, new ideas, because then you can incorporate those and accelerate everything. But don't not do all the shit you know to do, waiting for some other person to come along with some freaking solution or surprise for you, secret. Because there's no such thing as secrets, folks. There's no such thing as a secret. There are shortcuts. See, you ever been told there are no shortcuts in life? Anybody ever, especially older, come up, put their arm around your shoulder and say, hey, let me share some life advice, Nathan. There are no shortcuts in life. If someone said that to you, fling their arm off your shoulder and say, get away from me, dumbass. Of course there's shortcuts. There's shortcuts everywhere. People that have already done it, telling you how they did it, is a shortcut in and of itself. You don't have to go figure it out. They already figured it out. It took them 2 years to get there. It'll take you less time if you do exactly what they tell you to do. Why? Because they've already been there. They already know. That's a shortcut. So again, I can prove anybody that says there are no shortcuts, that there are shortcuts. No such thing as a shortcut. Bullshit. I look for them all the time. And they're everywhere. I find them all the time. I provide them all the time. I find and provide shortcuts on a daily basis, so tell me they don't exist. Bullshit. Anywho, let's answer a couple of questions so I can get back to my cigars. And by the way, since I ate frosted mini wheats this morning, well then that might as well let me get the old cream and sweetener in the coffee. And if I've been drinking cream and sweetener in the coffee all damn day, Well, then I don't necessarily need to fast, do I? Waste of fasting. And if I'm not fasting, well, then I can eat. And if I can eat, why work out? You know, so let's just consider this a day off, shall we? Smoke extra cigars, eat extra extra sugary shit. Why? Well, I'll tell you why. It's very simple. Because if I'm going to cheat, let's freaking cheat. Okay, that's my freaking motto. Like, if I'm going to fuck up, I want to fuck up big. Nobody wants to kind of fuck up. Because, listen, at the end of the day, man, if you're going to miss the target by an inch or a mile, it's still a miss, is it not? Anybody want to argue? Anybody want to debate? A lot of smart-looking people in the room. I'd love to talk to someone if they don't believe what I just said or can argue a different view or perspective, because all I said was simple. Whether you miss a target by a fraction or you miss it by a mile, it's still a miss. So who cares? And when it comes to, like, you know, diets, and you can just screw up big time and have 9,000 calories versus cheating a little bit and having 1,800 calories. Well, what's the difference? Well, the difference is 9,000 calories, dumbass. Again, this goes back to you already knew the right answer. Don't splurge. Cheat a little bit, move along. Cheat a little bit, forgive yourself, let's go. If you're like that, if that causes you to slip, don't cheat. See, you already know that. It's like an alcoholic, dude. When alcoholics come on my podcast, I try to convince them they're not an alcoholic. And it's not because I want them to slide off the bandwagon and ruin their life again. It's because how can you tell me you're an alcoholic when 15 years went by and you never had a drink? Okay, alcoholics need a drink. They haven't needed a drink. They don't want a drink. They've literally cured themselves. They're no longer an alcoholic in my book. And they'll argue, no, I'm an alcoholic. And the second I think I'm not an alcoholic and that I can cope with one little drink, well, then you better come bail me out. Because what they're saying is, if I drink at all, I'll drink a lot. If I cheat a little, I'll cheat a lot. And so again, dude, great. Then if that's the answer, don't cheat at all. Don't drink at all. Not even a little bit. Why? Because you don't have the power, the discipline, the freaking power is what it is. Because whatever it is stronger than you, okay? Which means what? Well, you're a little bit weak, ain't you? Because when I stopped smoking cigarettes a long time ago, you know what finally caused me to stop smoking cigarettes? I looked at the cigarette and I had to have one. And I thought to myself, dude, who's more powerful? You or that cigarette? And I said, no question. Flick, never smoked a cigarette again. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, why aren't you flicking the frosted mini wheats? Well, because I've decided that those are okay. See, I've rationalized them. And guess what? I'm right. Why am I right? Well, because I'm proof. Am I still okay? My life didn't end. Okay, I'm not broke. I'm not fat. I'm not freaking miserable. I'm not depressed. I'm not divorced. I'm not anything negative. I'm 100% positive. I am 100% happy. I am grateful. I am excited on a regular basis. Matter of fact, when people say to me, how you doing? I say that's a wasted question. You should have just freaking thought about what to say because you wasted a question. I'm awesome. If I wasn't awesome, I wouldn't tell you anyway. Why? Well, because then I'd be a dumbass. I'd be admitting that I'm a dumbass since I'm in the driver's seat. Right? I'm in the driver's seat. You come along, hey, how you doing, Brad? Oh, shit's terrible. God darn it. Well, you're just admitting that you're screwing up. Okay? And again, would I admit that I'm screwing up? Absolutely. But I wouldn't screw up. Why? Well, because, dude, as soon as I screw up, the second I screw up, I take value out of the screw up in the form of a lesson, which therefore makes it no longer a screw up if you shift your perspective in that regard, right? So you've heard you don't lose, you learn. The only time you lose is when you don't learn. So learn from your mistakes, and now you aren't afraid of making them. And you'll start taking more risk, and you'll start pulling the trigger. You start rolling the dice. Why? Because you're not worried about the little stupid shit anymore. Who cares what happens? Who cares? What's the worst that can happen? You lose? Who cares? You're going to lose. I've lost and I'm going to lose. No, you know, it's like I've been screwed and I'm going to continue to be screwed my entire life. I guarantee you this ain't the last time I've been screwed. If you guys bought this and you logged in and there was just a picture of me saying gotcha, I never said a word, you just logged in and I said gotcha, guess what? You learned, okay, didn't you? So you won, okay? Same thing. I could literally flip any situation into a positive. Not any, because obviously, guys, there's some major things wrong in the world. But I'm talking about everyday life. We're dealing with everyday life. If somebody has something that they can't figure out, I can't figure it out, we all can't figure it out, well, guess what? What can you do? What can you do? Like, I know people that have been diagnosed with, matter of fact, I think I had him in here. I'm going to get a guy in here. You can find him on social media called Smashworks. He's all ripped up. He was in a hotel bed. They said, dude, you got cancer. You're dying. You got a few months, dude. Just enjoy life. He had a couple $1,000,000 in the bank. He started spending it, right? Because he's dying. So he blew through all his money, spending it, thinking he's going to die. And then he got pissed along the way and started eating healthy and working out and doing all the right shit and cut out all the sugar and cut out all the shit that gives you cancer, that we know gives cancer, but we don't care because it's frosted mini wheat. So at the end of the day, he cut it all out and said, screw it. He's going to freaking get up and walk and push and not believe the doctor and the healthcare system. And dude, here he is. I don't know how many years later, dude, ripped, shredded, happy, married, you know, rich again. You know, he just turned it around. How did he do that? Well, I'm going to bring him in to let him tell you again for some of the new people, or go back and listen to the recordings. You guys remember Richard Dolan? Anybody here? Richard Dolan. Remember last time he came in here? He helps, you know, people with their speeches. LeBron James, Brands, Oprah Winfrey. Look him up. RichardDolan.com. D-O-L-A-N. He was here. He gave us an exercise. He told us he'll be back the following Wednesday, and then he was busy that following Wednesday, and I never brought him back. So next Wednesday at 4 p.m., I'm bringing Richard Dolan. I guarantee you guys don't want to miss that one. Okay? You don't want to miss that one. So be on the call next Wednesday at 4 p.m. We're going to close out with 2 questions from Paul and Tom. Paul.
Hey, Brad. I've been doing what you've said and listening to books. And based on that, I came up with this idea for Closer School Live, the event.
Okay.
Closer games. We play 3 different games. One by Rene Rodriguez called the Frame Game. One by Rene Rodriguez called the Love Game. And one that I made up called Poker Face, using these little cards that Brian Gelke has, and using Brian Gelke because he'd come up with the answer to the game. I just thought I'd throw that by you because I got the idea from reading Amplify.
I like that idea. Fortunately, Rene Rodriguez, good friend. I can get him to do that. Brian Galke, I can get him to do that. And by the way, in case he's listening, good friend. I can get Galke and Rodriguez to do those things. But what I succinctly heard you say is, hey, get Galke and Rodriguez to do a couple of exercises at the next Closer School Live event.
Yeah, and I'd ask them because I got them on my phone.
Yeah, no, that's good. No, that's good,
yeah.
dude. Good. Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you, bro.
Okay, I'll ask them. Cool.
Well, you don't have to ask them. I'll ask them. But you can ask them for me if you want, and then tell them tell them to reach out afterwards, and let's get it coordinated.
I'll text them both. Right on. Cool.
Awesome. Tom, what's up, buddy?
Appreciate it.
So the personal brand thing. So this is one of those things that's been kicking my ass for like, I don't know, months. I got like 200 followers, and I've done the Wes Watson program, and it's one of those things where, like you said, and other people have said, copy people, do what other people have done because they've proven it works.
Okay.
So yes.
Who said that?
I don't remember. It was one of your guests.
So who said it? And if you don't remember, how important must it have been? Number one.
It wasn't that important because.
Okay, well then you already know the answer then, because it didn't really carry much weight anyway. But if it did carry a bunch of weight, I would have said to you who said it. Why? Because guys, if you're talking to someone with millions of followers, then just go do it. Don't question it. And if you're talking to someone with thousands of followers, tell them, dude, if you knew what you were talking about, you'd have millions of followers. Okay, so at the end of the day, you gotta question the source of the information. Now, because I bring them as a guest and they have their opinion, doesn't make it right. Just so you know, doesn't make me right. So I invite everybody to prove me wrong. And when you say, well, you did what Wes Watson told you to do, I promise you, when it comes to building a brand on social media, you have not done what Wes Watson told you to do.
I agree. I definitely didn't. That's why.
Okay, so again, that's my point. So yeah. Wes Watson already told you what to do. He has millions of followers. You don't want to do that shit. You want to cling. You want to cling on to some freaking bozo that fucking told you to do something that didn't have any followers. And if he did have followers, well, then why are you questioning that? Have you done what the bozo said? No, you haven't done anything. What have you done?
Oh, yeah. So now I listen to everybody.
Yeah, but what have you done? It doesn't matter who you're listening to. What have you done, Tom?
So I've made videos and then retracted them, and then now.
Okay, so the only thing you've done is what I described as what people are doing and why they're not winning. That's what you're doing. You're doing the shit I told you not to do. And good, that's why I do it like this, because, dude, when I say it clearly, some people are like, dude, that's me. Exactly. You're not doing what Wes told you to do. You're not doing what I told you to do. You're doing what we're telling you doesn't work. So I'm glad you heard me. Now do it. Now do it, dude. You got the freaking technique. You got the hack, the secret cheat code. Put up a camera, get a tripod if you have to. Start filming you being you. And by the way, that's where it starts, unfortunately. Now you got to take that footage and you got to chop it up, add headlines and hooks and subtitles. You have to do that, guys. They search and they scroll silent. If I just scroll by you and I don't see a headline or a hook or any subtitles, so I don't know what you're saying, because we scroll silently most times. So I got to see your subtitles. I got to see your hook up there, like, you know, 300% of people do this. And then it's like, wait a minute, what do 300% people do? And so there has to be a hook. And so that's what I call creative. So you got to take that content now that you have it captured all day, by the way, which gives you 8 to 10 hours of content. Who's going to watch through that content to determine where to edit it at? Like this hour and 9 minutes, guys, someone's going to go listen to this shit and their head's going to explode. They're going to become more successful. And they're going to realize, holy shit, dude, I just got 6 years worth of content out of one hour bomb dropping extravaganza by Brad. What's going to end up on social media out of all this? I don't know. I don't know. Why? Because I don't care. I trust the team. They know what good shit sounds like, and they know how to, like, take some of the dumb shit I said and just leave it out. So at the end of the day, all of a sudden you start seeing me on social media, bang, 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 bang. People are like, oh man, that's good. Oh dude, that's good. Hey, I'm gonna follow this guy. I like this guy. And then some people are gonna go, who the hell does this guy think he is? And they're not going to follow me. Well, guess what? I ain't looking for them. I'm not looking for people that don't like me. What kind of a dumbass would do that? I'm looking for people that do like me. And guess what? The ones that do, hit the follow button. And the ones that don't. So I'm not worried about all the ones that don't and leave their stupid little comments and then run along in life and end up nowhere because they're negative, pessimistic fucks half the time. I worry about the people that follow me. I just keep giving value, keep giving value, keep giving value. I've even given value before and somebody says, you know, oh, unfollow. Oh my God, I followed you for 2 years and now you think fucking Depeche Mode's better than fucking Duran Duran? Oh my God, unfollow. Dude, you are what you call a fickle follower. I don't give a fuck about you either. Why? Well, because, dude, you're not going to be there if someone needs you. You're fickle. If I like freaking Trump, oh, you like Trump. Dude, who cares who somebody likes? I didn't fire my receptionist, or not my receptionist. She liked, in that regard, well, Trump to be specific, but my assistant voted for Biden. My partner, Jason, here actually voted for Biden. They didn't vote for Biden. They just didn't vote for Trump, meaning they voted for anyone but Trump. A bunch of fools over here in my production department voted for Biden. I asked them today. You know, hey, and by the way, you can cut this in, okay, because we got that footage too. I said, hey, how'd you think your boy Biden did? Just to get the temperature. And guess what they all said? Ugh. Even the full-blown frickin' left-leaning frickin' young entitled frickin' gender-confused group of people that work over here, they who staunchly supported fucking Biden and his geriatric bullshit is now openly admitting they fucked up. Which is, guys, good news. That's the greatest news ever. Which means now nobody wants Biden. So if Biden wins again, you know it's rigged. Because not even the Biden people want Biden anymore. So no Trump people wanted Biden. No Republican wanted Biden. But the Biden people might have wanted Biden, even though I still don't even agree. But it's possible there was a lot of dumbasses out there that just believed him. But now that you've watched him, or actually now that you realize he can't even speak coherently half the time, he's screwed everything up so badly. He's clearly a puppet for somebody else. Even his own constituents, his own supporters don't want him. So if he wins again, folks, you know, and by the way, this is not to be on social media. I don't want to get suppressed and canceled and lose my damn reach. But if he wins again, then you already know, dog. We live in a world where this shit is rigged, and now it's freaking, it better be gloves off. Fuck you. Let's win. And how do you win even if you know it's rigged? You quit worrying about the stupid shit, and you start focusing in every day on how do I get ahead. Well, again, figure out what ahead looks like. Figure out who's already done it. Get their blueprint and do that. And I'll bet you 9 times out of 10, you'll get what they got. And that's why I was going to challenge you, Tom, because I thought you were going towards, well, I did everything Wes Watson told me to do. And let me tell you something, I already know Wes Watson would tell you to do it for 10 years. Wes Watson was doing the same shit he's doing now 10 years ago, and ain't no one watching him. He was in prison. He was in prison doing it for 5 or 6 years straight with nobody watching him except for people that get off on watching people in prison. And there's a little market for that. So he had a little bit of a freaking following. He had a little bit of a following. You know, the girls that visit the dudes in prison and wait till they get out so they can marry them? There's a group of people that watch and communicate with people in prison. So I'm not saying he had nobody following him. He had those connections on the outside world. I was always asking, like, dude, how the hell did you get a phone in prison anyway? No wonder you're in prison. You can't even follow the fucking rules of no phones. But I guess if you're in prison, why not? Why follow the rules? What are they going to do? Put you in prison? Like shit, it's catch-22. Once you're in prison, fuck it. They can't do anything to you. Okay? Take away your pillow, you know, put you in the hole. The hole sounds like peace and quiet to me. Like shit, if I'm in the general population of a prison with all the other murderers and shit, and clearly there's prison politics, which means now I'm walking around the yard in danger. And if I break the rules in prison, I don't get out. Okay, so why wouldn't I break the rules in prison? In fact, you get rewarded. You get put in a room by yourself where there is no danger. There's no threat. Anyway, to me it all seems pretty simple, but I know you didn't do what he told you to do because he did it forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And that's why when people say, Brad, I told you did what you did and you didn't work. Dude, you've been doing it for how long? You know, I posted for 6 weeks straight. Oh no, it didn't work. Shit. It didn't work because it doesn't take 6 weeks, dick. It takes years. Oh, I don't want to do this for years. That's a decision. Then frickin' take off the jersey and get out the game, you little crybaby. Make a decision is all I'm saying. Make a decision. Do you want to be a freaking social media influencer? Do it. I'll show you exactly how to do it. And by the way, if you go, I don't want to be an influencer, then that's just a decision, guys. Own it. Then don't worry about that. Who cares? Be one of those people that don't have anybody following them. And by the way, there are many successful people in the world without a social media page, without a social media presence. You don't have to be one. I'm just showing you that it is a very powerful tool and it will blow up any business, a personal brand. It gives you power, it gives you deal flow, it gives you influence. So if you think you should be one, A, anyone can be one, and B, here's how you do it, make the decision and do it. or make the decision, own the decision, and don't do it, and quit listening to anything about that, because it doesn't pertain to you. I don't want to be a freaking star. I want to be one of those rich dudes that ain't on social media. I want to be one of those rich dudes that nobody knows. Matter of fact, if you guys want, I'll get a guy on here named Bobby Anasterio. He's funny as hell, down from Kentucky. He'll come up in a ball cap. He'll have about $1 million watch on his wrist, and you won't even know it. And he'll have a baseball cap, and he'll sound like, hey, hey, hey. He might even chew hay. But dude's worth some dough. Like, in other words, his car collection is probably 50 to 100 million, just for cars. And you know, if you have 100 million in cars, that ain't all you got. You wouldn't spend all your money on cars. So he's got more than that. And by the way, his wife, we went into her closet, and her closet was as big as this office, and it was all shelves full of Birkin bags and expensive ass purses. I mean, just one section. In the middle, there was rows and rows and rows of freaking couture and ridiculousness. But on the outside of the whole custom built huge ass closet was box, lit up box, and they were all filled with Birkin bags and stupid shit. So, I mean, dude, he's really rich. You wouldn't even know. He doesn't even have a social... Well, yeah, he does, actually. I'll even give it to you. It's million upside down and backwards. So, if, like, one of his cars, it says like, NO77 something. It's weird looking. Like, what is that? It's just gibberish. But if you turn it up, it says million. But anyway, I'll get him in here. Bobby Anasterio. And I'll tell you, you know, he'll give you a whole nother concept, and he'll make you believe a whole nother thing. He'll be like, dude, I don't work out at all. Oh, well, he might, but I doubt it. You know, and then you'll be like, wait a minute, Brad said you got to work out, and he said you got to work out. No, don't worry about the actual workout. That's if you want to be in whoever's definition successful. Okay, in my definition, health is successful. Shredded and 3% body fat is not my idea of successful. You can be successful without being shredded. I'm proof of it. But you can't be successful, in my definition, if you're not healthy. Why? Because, dude, if you're unhealthy, bro, I don't think that's a success at all. I don't think that's where you should be trying to get to. I think you got issues. I think you better fix those fucking issues if you're going to be successful or you're going to remain at all. So to me, if you're not healthy, dude, you got some work to do. You're not in the situation you need to be in. That's just my opinion. So again, what do you mean healthy? You know, any kind of health. You need to be healthy. Well, why do I see you smoking cigars, Brad? Listen, guys, I don't know if you guys understand cigars or not, but you don't inhale them. You don't inhale them. I'm not inhaling cigars. I don't think they're unhealthy. Now, do I think they're prematurely aging my skin? Yes. But we're back to the shredded wheat theory. I'm all right. I'll put on a little lotion. I'll put on a little sweet almond oil at night so I can allow sweet almond oil to seep into my skin and wake up with smooth, young skin. And when I'm 70 and it's not smooth anymore, I'll go to the doctors and I'll have enough money to say, hey, what's the latest and greatest to make me look that way? And then they'll shoot me up with Botox. And then eventually I get to a point where, guess what? I'm just old, fellas. I'm okay with that. Why? Aren't we all trying to be? Aren't we all trying to be? Like, whoever's the oldest person on this call right now, I would say is the luckiest person on this fucking call right now. Because you may not get to his age or her age. Remember that. Somebody 75 years old, young whippersnapper, oh man. Dude, you hope you reach that age. That dude's lucky, guaranteed lucky right now because he is 75. You might not get to be. So again, it's all perspective, isn't it? So you guys want to change your life immediately? Change your perspective immediately. Change the way you look at shit. The way you look at shit, or the shit you look at changes. I forget who said that. Somebody said that. Anyway, good question, Tom. Or I guess good comment or good contribution, because you didn't really have a question. What was your question?
I do have a question.
Okay.
So the actual question is, so starting out, no followers, very beginning. So in your opinion, should I pick a topic like golfing only and taking dumps only or flying only or business only or whatever? Or can I just post my whole day?
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Are you only taking dumps?
No, I'm doing it all.
Well, then there's your answer. I already told you, be you. Okay, and if you only take dumps, well then fucking your whole page will be a dump taking page. And guess what? You're going to get a bunch of followers because there's weirdos that want to do nothing but fucking inspect people's deuces. That's why when you go, oh my God, I just left a freaking turd that big in a toilet, people say, where? It's like, dude, that's gross. Why? Dude, same reason why if you guys want to try this, try it. Next time, and I know ladies, plug your ears because I know you're not going to do this, but dudes, next time you say, dude, I just cut the nastiest fart, dudes, you'll see people go. They'll try to smell to see if it's as nasty as you're claiming. They don't just go, oh my God, and walk away. They go, and if you did, you'll see them. They go, oh my God, dude. You couldn't take my word for it? You wanted to see for yourself? And they will. Why? I don't know. Okay, weird. Humans are weird.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna do it all. Appreciate it.
Yeah, do it all, bro. You just listen. You just post who you are and what you do. Now, again, I personally wouldn't do the taking a dump thing. Okay, my
Hey, you never know. I'm just gonna catch
listen. My camera guy follows me around everywhere all day, and again, he's got a life too. So like 9 to 5, like a job type of thing. When I go home, he doesn't follow me there, but I tell him no bedroom, no bathroom, because I don't want to trend #1 on Pornhub. But if I did, I'd be saying, dude, come on in there too. And guess what? I'd be trending #1 on Pornhub. You follow me? So again, I mean, if you're constantly sitting on the computer, you know, looking up porn and jacking off, and you know, you're not working, you're not building anything, you're just a freaking jack off. I guarantee you, if you take what I said and film it, being you, and post it 3 to 4 times a day on social media, you might get arrested because I don't, you know, depending on what you're doing, but you're going to get a following of the right people. Why? Because, dude, you will repel the people that don't like you. They're not interested in what you're doing. You appall them. And you will attract the people that are looking for what you do, looking for who you are, and you will attract the people that should be following you. And that's the beautiful part. Because if you just do it and quit worrying about everything, you will not get the people that don't like you, that you're so worried about, to follow you anyway. They won't be following you anyway, so who cares what they think? You're not attracting those people. You're trying to find the people that like you, that resonate with you, that have similar interests and goals, and you know, you want to build a relationship with, and frickin' and help and commerce and exchange and all that. You want actual followers. You don't want a bunch of fucking people that don't like you. And the good news is you'll never get those people. A few haters will follow you just because they just want to see you be you, because they can't stand you. Well, again, barring those, you're going to get the rest of them. And the good news with that is the people that we're talking about here are the ones that you end up, you know, getting referrals from and do business with, and you know, give you the influence that you're looking for. And the ones that hate you will unfollow you. So just remember that, because most people are so afraid of the hate, they'll never find the love. They'll never find the love because they're worried about the hate. So you're focused on the hate. I don't want any hate. I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to look stupid, so I'm not going to post anything because I don't want the hate. Well, then you'll never find the love. If you're like, dude, I want the love. How do I find the love? How do I get my love? Brad, you got all this love. How do I get my love? Well, post your shit. No, I'm worried about the hate. Well, then you'll never find the love. Okay? You can't worry about the hate if you're looking for the love. Okay? You want to find the love? Post your shit up. Quit worrying about what everybody else is going to think. And you should love yourself, by the way. So you should be loving what you post. Like, dude, I got a rule with my team. If I don't think there's value, don't post it. There better be value in everything they post, even if it's comedic value, even if it's levity, even if it's entertainment. You know, could be good business advice, could be good relationship advice, could be just my opinion that was delivered with some sort of sarcasm. As long as I look at it and I'm like, dude, that's got value, then they can post it. I don't post anything without value. You've never seen me post a picture of my sandwich. Go look my social media account and see if I've ever posted a picture of my fucking sandwich and what I ate for lunch, or the fact that I ate it all. You know, you ever see those empty plates? Just finished lunch. You know, how come I ain't getting 1 million followers? Well, dude, you should have gave some value in that post. Like if you ever see a sandwich of mine posted, you're gonna see the fucking ingredients, and you're gonna see where I got it, and you're gonna see a list you can print out and fucking go get your own and build your own. Okay, there's gonna be value in it, or at least perceived value. Whose perception? Mine. Why? Because that's whose counts. That's whose opinion matters to me. My opinion matters. Why? Why shouldn't mine matter? Well, you shouldn't put your opinion over others. Who the hell is trying to sell that? And more importantly, who's buying it? You buying that shit? Stop buying that shit, dude. Your opinion is just as valuable as everybody else's. Okay? You deserve just as much as everybody else. You, my friend, are worth everything you think you're worth, literally. So you got to raise your self-worth to raise your net worth. Make sense, peeps? Make sense, people? Now look at this dude at the bottom. Old, let me put on my readers because I'm getting old. Old Anmal Singh, looking like a beard model. Ain't said a word the whole time. You got any questions, friend? You're muted. Your mic don't work. Another lesson. We'll pick it up next week. Be prepared. Preparation, folks, is when opportunity and you know meets. No, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. Some people like see something. We've heard that, right? What it means is like right now, let's pretend I'm like, you know, I could make him famous, which I can't. He ain't really missing some big opportunity, but let's pretend this was a big opportunity. I just picked him, man. I was about to let him shoot for the million, and his fucking mic don't work.
It's working now, I think.
I know it is, but you see my point? Preparation meets opportunity. That's lucky. That's lucky. And that's why I tell people, I'm lucky. You look at my profile on my, I think it's Twitter, it says, lucky as hell and willing to roll the dice. Can you imagine being the luckiest person in the world and afraid to gamble? What a dumbass! People ask, why, dude, why aren't you afraid? Dude, I'm the luckiest person in the world, dude. I'd be a dumbass if I wasn't willing to roll the dice. Anyway, Anmal Singh. Yes.
So joined in recently, and I'm in the trading and investing space. So I trade stocks for a living, and then I have company Live Trader. So we teach people how to trade, courses, newsletters, things of that nature. My thing is how to differentiate ourselves, because we've been one of the top companies since 2015 in this space. But then recently with TikTok, all these like people have popped up that don't even trade the stock market. They're just good at making content. And we kind of got left behind because we're more attracting the older audience. So how do I differentiate myself in that space? Because we can't make any income claims and all of that. We had notices from FTC and, you know.
Okay, let me interrupt or I'll forget my track, because you just said something that I want to point out. If you go back and listen to what you said, and by the way, you must have believed it to say it, right? You don't think you're full of shit, do you? Okay, so you must have believed what it is you just said, and what you just said sounded a little bit limiting and scarce, like you can't. I heard you can't do something. And you're like, no, we can't. The FCC will shut us down. Okay, again, you can't. That's what you're saying. And you're also saying that these other people who are just better at content creation are stealing all your business. Yeah?
I would say stealing, but they're attracting the younger audience, and I'm having a hard time attracting newer audience.
Okay, so what are they doing? So remember what I said, figure out what you want. You want to go get the younger audience. You want a bigger audience. You want more market share. You just got done saying the people that are stealing all the audience, they're getting all the audience, they're making great content on TikTok. So number one, figure out what it is, more audience. Number two, figure out what to do, how to do it. You know, what it is, how do I get it? Well, you get it by finding someone who's already getting it, who's already gotten it, who's already done it. Sounds like those guys. Why? Why? Because you said they're getting it. Okay, well, if they're getting it, do what they're doing. Now what? Now you're going to say, well, I can't because, oh, shit, here we go with the limiting again. You can't because what? Why can't you? Somehow they could, but you can't. Why can't you? Why can't you do what they're doing? Tell me that.
No, I mean, I definitely can.
Up. Hold on right there or I'll lose my train of thought. You can. Okay, then why haven't you?
It's just more a matter of the content, like what they're putting out.
Can you do what they're doing? Yes or no?
I mean, I can, but, you know, I don't...
Hey, listen, butts are only nice in bathing suits. Listen to me. Can you or can't you?
Like, physically, I can.
Dude, just answer the question. Don't get slick. Can you or can't you? It is a simple question. Don't make it difficult. Can you or can't you do what they're doing?
Well,
can you or can't you? See what I mean? Like you can't even make a fucking decision, bro. No wonder you're stuck. Dude.
I mean, I can do it, yeah.
Yes, you can. Of course you can, dude. Right. You're mentally blocked. It's your mindset. Remember when I said mindset, skill set, habits? Right now, I always go to mindset first. Why? Because, dude, 9 times out of 10, it's somebody's mindset. It's their belief system. It's their fucking stories they keep telling themselves that's causing them to believe, which is causing them to not do, which is causing them to not change and not to get. So back it up. I always go right to mindset. That's why I'm doing this. Because at the end of the day, dude, you know you can. And if you don't know you can, the mindset's the problem because you can. You can do what they're doing. Now the question is, then why aren't you? Because you're not asking yourself the right question. You're not asking the universe the right question. You're not asking the group the right question. The right question isn't, you know, what can I do? You already fucking know what to do. Do what they're doing. Why? Well, it's working for them. Why wouldn't it work for you? Well, I guess it would. Well, then why aren't you doing it? And that's the right question. And now that's what you think about. Why aren't you doing it? And you might come out with a damn good reason. And you'd be like, you know what? Because I'm more experienced and I know that it's ultimately not going to last. And I know it's ultimately going to, you know, so then what's the question? Well, then the question goes back to how. And the answer doesn't change. How? Find someone who's already doing it. Find somebody who aligns with what it is you believe is what you want. And then do what they're doing. So if these young kids, whippersnappers on TikTok are making content, go make content on TikTok. If that's what's working, man, do what's working. Why do you want to outthink that?
Right. Yeah, I'm putting out content every day, daily. My only
on TikTok?
Yeah, I'm putting it on TikTok as well.
Now, is theirs better than yours and it's growing faster and scaling faster and you don't know why?
No, I know exactly why, and it's definitely a mindset thing, but I feel like a lot of them are making claims like, here's how you can make $1 million in like 3 days. I'm like, it's not possible. It's fake. Like they're lying, and I feel like
dude, it's not. It is possible. It's not likely, dude. See what I mean? It is possible. It's just not likely.
True.
Okay, so if the marketing is, you know, the hook and the lead, make $1 million in 3 days, and you say, oh, that's unethical, that's not possible. Well, that's why you're not doing it, and you're not able to do it. And even if you try to do it, you're very unbelievable, and it's not working like it does for them because they fucking believe it, dude. Number one, because they're probably young and actually believe it. Number two, you know. Or maybe they're just unethical. But in my mind, I'm giving you ways of thinking because all I'm really doing is shifting my perspective based on what you're telling me. If you say it's not possible, I know that's not true because it is possible. I know several people that got rich in 3 days. Matter of fact, I know a dude that got rich in 1 day. You know what he did? He went out with these people on a yacht. On the yacht, they were talking about Ethereum. He wanted to hang out and impress these people. So he literally bought $250,000 worth of Ethereum when it was $7 each. It's $2,200 now. Now, he bought $500,000 worth at $7 each, right? So I don't know how many that is. 350,000 Ethereum? Now watch. Alexa, what is 350,000 times $2,500?
Good evening, Brad. 350,000 times 2,500 US dollars is 875 million US dollars.
And he still has every one of them. And he also has jets and houses and assets up the yin-yang, artwork that's $4 million a pop, doesn't care. Why? Because he's a freaking he's a Bitcoin or crypto millionaire, multi-millionaire, almost a boo. He bought 500 grand worth of Ethereum, right? Or thereabout, right? Took him seconds. And then he did nothing for 3 years, and he's worth $800 million. And by the way, Alexa, when was Ethereum at $7 each?
One Ethereum is worth 2,519 US dollars, down 2.9% over the last 24 hours.
Alexa, when was Ethereum $7?
From brobible.com. Since December 31st, the price of Ethereum has jumped from $7.93 to $227.43 today.
You can Google
and that
it.
growth has every investor on the planet taking notice.
Alexa, stop.
You can look. March of 2016.
Okay, so in 2016, dude, he did something that took him literally a minute or two to show off and fit in. He didn't know what Ethereum was. He was just trying to fit in. And when they were all talking about it and everybody was partying and drinking and you know, he said, fuck it. And he wanted to show off and look like he fit with the rich guys because he only had 500,000 to his name. And by the way, some of you guys may be like, well, damn, that's a lot. Again, you're correct. That's where, good thing he had $500,000 when that happened. But at the end of the day, point is, he did it in seconds or minutes or however long it took him, and then he did nothing for this many years, 5 years later, and now is worth $800 million. So he got rich in 3 days. You can get rich overnight, especially with frickin' trading, especially with frickin' crypto, especially right now that BlackRock's trying to get their own EFTs and like, dude, right now, I'm telling you right now, pay attention in the world, especially in the trading world. Learn your candlestick and your bullshit. And when there is a bad market, you can get rich in a crashed market. You can get rich, or you can crash in a rich market. So at the end of the day, dude, there's opportunities everywhere right now. The question is are you able to convince people through social media and your post that there's possibility? And if you don't feel ethical saying, hey, you can get rich in 3 days, then don't say that, dude. But can you get passionate and say what you believe and get enthusiastic and start freaking having like certainty? Because it sounds like you can. And if you can, start doing it all day, every day. Chop it up, drop it on all those social media for a little bit, and I guarantee it, you'll look back and you'll go, it worked! Because that's what I would suggest. And especially that you told me that that's what they're doing. Because, dude, TikTok's pretty damn viral pretty freaking quick. You know, it's slowed down a lot lately. You know, you're already a little bit behind. You should have done that, 6 months ago. And little do you know, they could have been doing it for 6 years. You just don't realize it because you just found them. And you're like, hey, these guys are new. No, they might not be new, dude. They could have been doing it 2 years already, and they're 2 years ahead of you. And that's why they're growing, and that's why they're scaling, and you're not. Because you haven't done it for 2 years. You never know. That's why, apples to apples, the formula doesn't change. Figure out what you want. Figure out, how to get it, which is to find out who's done it and what they did. Because again, that's the blueprint. And then do the work. So it's figure out what you want, get the blueprint, do the work. Repeat. What do you want? What's the blueprint? Repeat. Do the work. You do the work. Keep your mouth shut, be disciplined, be consistent, be like that guy we described would be, and you'll get that. I guarantee you. And if I'm wrong, you'll know in 3 or 4 months. And my question is, what do you got to lose?
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. That's kind of, it is a mental thing now that I think about it, because I did make a video, like day in the life of a trader, and that one got 3 million on YouTube. And I was like, is that what people want to see? I'm like, I thought they would want to learn. But I guess not. Dude,
listen, I'm gonna close with this story. You think people want to learn, and you try to think, man, obviously value's what they want. Well, one year I invented these things called Magic Money Fun Packs. And these Magic Money Fun Packs were a very simple, colorful coupon book that I had printed up, kind of like a checkbook. It was just coupons. And the coupons were a little bit different than everybody else's coupons because I talked the business into giving me something absolutely free. It wasn't a buy one, get one. It wasn't a this percent or that percent off. I walked into the business and sold the business owner on giving me a free certificate. So a free oil change, a free tan, a free pedicure, a free dog wash, a free hamburger, a free milkshake. Everything in this whole damn book was free. Legitimately free. You could leave your house with no money, come back haircut, dog grooming, car wash, you know, multiple places to eat and drink and, you know, all kinds of free shit. And go back home without a dollar in your pocket. It was legitimate free shit. And when you calculated up all the shit in that coupon book, there was $2,200 worth of free shit in there. And I thought to myself, man, this is going to make me rich. I'm going to sell these to everybody, everywhere. These will be the easiest things in the world to sell. So someone said, dude, they're having a swap meet, man. Let's go rent a spot at the swap meet and sell it to all the people walking by in the swap meet. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So we go down there the first day. I rent it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I go on the Friday, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay, listen, here's the deal. $2,200 worth of free shit. We should be able to get $20 for these easy. So let's make the sign say $40 slash down, swap meet price $20, and frickin' blow these things out. I had thousands of them. They cost me maybe, I think I remember they were like $1 to print, right? But they were $2,200 worth of shit. Figure I'd get it 20 bucks for them. Plus I figured I'd get the Boy Scouts to sell them and the Girl Scouts to sell them and the soccer teams to sell them, and we'd be selling hundreds of thousands of these things. Who the hell wouldn't want $2,200 worth of shit for 20 bucks? So Friday comes, we don't sell any. And I'm trying to sell them too, and I'm a damn good salesman. Dude, can't sell anybody a $2,200 worth of shit for $20. Come back Saturday. Literally didn't sell anybody. Came back on Saturday. I said, okay, we gotta do something. Let's make them $5 just to get rid of the ones that we brought, because we don't want to haul them back out. Let's just sell the ones we brought for $5 each. All right, folks, $5. Now we're really excited. They're $5, dude. Look, you get a tan, you get a car wash, you get a freaking pedicure, you get a manicure, you get a massage, you get a freaking whatever it is you got, man. $5 bill, $5 bill. Nobody bought any. Unbelievable. Nobody bought any all day long. We're exhausted. Couldn't sell one. So we got Sunday left. I'm like, okay. Apparently everybody around me has a bunch of garbage welfare shit they're selling at the swap meet. And I'm like, well, it looks like everybody just wants a bunch of shit. And I'm pissed. Why? Nobody wants my Magic Money Fun Packs. All these freaking goofballs walking around here buying garbage. I said, hey, I got some garbage. Matter of fact, I got a garage full of garbage. I got weights where the plastic's cracked and the cement's coming out. You know, them cement-filled freaking plastic weights that used to be available all cheap and shit. I had the bar, I had the weights, but I didn't have the things that kept them on the bar. Like, just a bunch of shit, and they were all cracked, and you could tell it wasn't really what it said it was, because half the concrete had broken and fell out the crack. So now, who knows how much it weighs? Just a bunch of broken weights. I had an answering machine that didn't work. I had freaking a tennis racket that had broken strings, or no strings. You know, like severely broken and hold. It needed to be restrung, man. It was a broken tennis racket. I had a baby bassinet. I had an old stuffed rabbit, and it was Easter. And I said, dude, we had plastic champagne flutes from something. I don't know how or why, but I saw plastic champagne flutes on the freaking shelf, and I saw chocolate Easter eggs. So I said, take a few of those Easter eggs, fill up the champagne flute, wrap it in cellophane, stick it in the baby bassinet, stick 100 of them in there next to the goddamn rabbit, and fucking put that out and put like $5 for a stupid ass plastic champagne flute that you stick on the bottom, and then wrap it in colored pink cellophane. Now, how do you have all this shit? My wife was a freaking, you know, what do you call it, crafter or something. Who knows? Who gives a shit? Bottom line is that's what I had done. And we brought that bassinet and that rabbit and those stupid, cheap-ass welfare souvenirs and all of our garbage that didn't work, and we brought it down to the space and we set it out with our books in the middle, Magic Money Fun Packs still on the table, And the entire day, dude, we sold out of every fucking piece of shit I brought. And I was left with every fucking one of my books. And I thought, dude, it doesn't matter, dude. Doesn't matter. You know, people want stupidity sometimes. Why question it? What's the moral of the story? I quit going to the fucking swap meet. I didn't give up. I just quit going to the swap meet, right? If you're using worms and not catching any fish, you know, you want to stop fishing or you want to change bait. Again, you hungry? Because if you need a fish, you change bait. You don't walk away. If you know there's fish in there, you're just using the wrong bait, you change the bait. You figure it out. You say, hey, what am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? What is everybody else doing right? What are they doing wrong? Or, you know, you just use common sense and say, you know, what's the formula? Okay, the formula is, let me see what I want. Okay, I know what I want. I want this. Okay, who's done that? Who is doing that or has done that? Factually, that I can look up and verify. This person. Okay, what'd they do to do that? Blueprint. Well, what if they don't give it to me? Find somebody else. What are you, the only motherfucker on the planet that can do this shit? Like, if that's the case, dude, I don't know the formula, okay? Because I've never been some dude that's like freaking never done shit before. I'm just telling you that the shit everybody else has done. Everybody else has already built a 9-figure business. You want to build a 9-figure business? You want to be this? You want to be that? I'm talking about that stuff. I'm not talking about freaking, you want to be the first person in the world to ever do it. Well, I ain't the guy that tells you, because there's nothing I've done in the world that no one's ever done except for invent online interactive virtual training, which I did in 1999. And, you know, and by the way, you with your trading training, if you're not on my platform, my technology, dude, you got to call my team and see why. Why wouldn't I be? And I bet you will be. Because I invented the space, bro. That's the only thing I did do. Yeah, dogs. All right, cigars are a calling. Hopefully you guys got families. You got to go do some things. You got to go implement what we talked about. You got to go schedule some time to think. You got to figure out, what do I need to do to get what I want? Okay, what'd Brad say? Let me prove him wrong. He said to figure out what it is, I can spend some time thinking and doing that and get specific. And then I'm going to figure out who's done it and what they did to do it, which is just the blueprint, research, like, you know, again, think, look, pay attention. And then I'm going to do it. And I'm going to prove Brad wrong. After I do what they did, I'm going to show him I didn't get what they got. And I'll bet you by the time you're done trying to prove me wrong, you prove me right. Yee! But it won't happen by next week, I'm pretty sure, unless your goals are this big. So I'll see you next week and we'll go over some more shit. Fair enough? Till next time, kids, keep it real. Keep it real in the field. Be good. See you guys. Sorry about last week. See ya.
Think in your head right now, I'm cool. Now, if you just think I'm cool, you didn't say it out loud, just think it. I'm cool. Whose voice did you just hear? Because again, you heard it in your head, right? Whose voice is that? Is that your voice? Whose voice is that? That's the voice of what I would consider. Sometimes, by the way, it's not you. It's not you. The real you is the being